Excellent. We're live. Good morning, fellow Misfits. I'm going to wait about 2 minutes and then end up when everyone's in. Say that again because I really like saying good afternoon, Misfits. I don't know. Mondays are long. They're drawn out. I personally like when I can reference the afternoon because it means we're closer to the end. Well, we're going to give you all, again, a couple more minutes to get in. We got some fun stuff to talk about today. And obviously some good coffee to drink. For anyone who's hopping in, or if you're watching this after the fact, go ahead and just let us know how your Monday's going. Let us know how the weekend went. Let us know how you've been dealing with that shift in temperature. It's been pretty fun. I don't know. I like the colder weather. I don't like it too cold, but I also don't like it sweltering hot. I know there's the whole thing about layering up versus layering down, but for me, I like the start of every season, and then I'm just ready for the next one. So this week, I'm going to be enjoying the cold weather, and probably by about next week, if you're around me in person, you'll probably hear me start to complain about it. Why? Just because I can. Kidding. You probably won't hear me complain about it, but that's all right. You'll just see me layer up over and over again. Giving y'all a couple more minutes, but I guess just to start all that off, we had a pretty, honestly, the weather is definitely helping. Obviously, people like their coffee a lot more in the cold than they do the hot, which I never quite understood. I mean, I get it. It's just for me. I don't care if it's 100 degrees out or negative 20. When that pot gets going, when someone's firing up something to brew coffee, espresso, whatever, I'm looking for it. So, I don't know what y'all think. I don't know if y'all the type, we'll see who comes in. I can probably tell you who comes into the chats and all will be which kind of person. But for me, doesn't matter. Hot, cold, middle, I'm indifferent. Except to the fact that I want my coffee. I don't know. Just how I've always been. I think a lot of that comes from my parents. Because so y'all have heard me say this before, whether it's here or in person, but my dad was a coffee fanatic. Years after he passed, his stuff that we still had still smelled like coffee. So I'm always used to seeing a coffee pot running, always used to my parents stopping for coffee, always used to them filling up a thermos, a tumbler, whether you're in 90s or after. I guess that terminology kind of changed because everything was thermoses at first. But I can, as a result, I'll drink it all year round. It doesn't matter. And especially when it's cold out, nothing better to me than sitting outside, bundled up in a jacket, hot cup of coffee in your hand, just kind of enjoying the cooler weather. You start getting that little smell of snow. It's ideal for me. And the other thing I will say, I don't know who falls on what side of the fence here, but let me know in the comments. Let me know whether you're watching now or after. When do you like your dark versus light roast? Do you have a preference based on weather? Because I know for me, my darker roasts, rainy days, cold days. If it's really hot, I'm going for a lighter roast. I'll be breaking out our light roast, baby. Woo! If it's pretty hot out, but then if it's cold, I'm going Sulawesi all the way. Just my own personal preference. But we are after 12 now, so good afternoon, fellow Misfits. Once again, Big Bad Jon coming to you live from Misfit HQ. We got a couple fun things to talk about today, but as we always promise, the point of this Misfit Monday debrief is to debrief you from last week. Let you know what we've been up to, let you know everything that's gone on that you might have missed if you were out of town, if you didn't get a chance to stop. It's okay, we forgive you. So here we go. First and foremost, if any of y'all were anywhere near here, you probably smelled coffee every moment from Sunday evening all the way through the rest of the week. And that's because we have been roasting and grinding and bagging and filling cartridges like a bunch of madmen and women. We were up here most nights fairly late, some of them real late. Why? Because y'all are starting to request coffee even more, which we cannot thank you enough for. We're extremely appreciative of. So we've been up here like crazy, just roasting and grinding away, having just having, whether there's some kind of music playing in the background. We're all personally hooked on Bar Rescue right now, so we've been playing that in the background, and then just running around. And I think y'all, if you managed to make it out to see us on Saturday, which we'll get to in a second, you probably saw the result of that. And that wasn't even all of it. We roasted a lot for just clients around town, which I'll be making a bunch of deliveries to tomorrow. We were roasting for clients here locally. West Tennessee Vapors, right here attached to us, they got a full restock last week, and then we wanted to make sure we had enough for you, the people, on Saturday, which, if you didn't get a chance to make it out to the bicentennial celebration, it was cold. It was pretty brisk, which was nice. We had people of all ages, which, I kid you not, all ages, coming up for coffee. We spoke to a couple teenagers who'd run the 5K. They went and grabbed their folks. Their folks had been drinking our coffee and came and got some. We even had two children come for decaf, which is not something that I really thought was a market that we'd hit. But, I mean, it makes perfect sense. You don't want your kids getting caffeinated like crazy, but because they've already got enough energy. But maybe they need a warm drink. Maybe they don't want something loaded with a bunch of just artificial sugar and all like hot chocolate. Our decaf coffee apparently meets the mark, because I was told today that the two children that ended up drinking the decaf, not only did they like it, but whereas they normally leave their cups about half full of whatever it is and don't touch it, they drank them dry. So we've now got that's one of our youngest seals of approval. I'd put my daughter in there as the youngest seal of approval, but God has not allowed her to enjoy the taste of coffee just yet. We've let her give it a shot. Not quite her cup of tea, or coffee, or caffeine, whatever you want to call it. Alright, just checking in. So that was the bicentennial. Again, it was really nice. You know, I know it's only been a couple weeks. 2-3 weeks since we had the farmers market officially finish. But it was still nice to see y'all. It's always nice to be downtown and just have everyone come back and getting cups of coffee, just chit-chatting, old faces, new faces, just seeing where y'all have been. So that was pretty fun. So again, bicentennial was a big success. Another shout out, we can't say it enough, to Bree, who runs the farmers market down there, and all the staff that help out. It's been cool to see how much it's grown from last year when we started to now. Just the excitement and energy it gets, the vendors, the variety of food trucks, the variety of things that are there for sale and what people are doing. We've seen new businesses start up since we've been there. It's a wonderful launch pad, and it's just something great for the community. So once again, shout out to City of Dyersburg, but specifically to Bree, for all the work that you put in. We thank you very much from the bottom of our little Misfit hearts. We really do appreciate it. So, bicentennial went well. Had to snag a mug, of course, because why not? Other announcements. So for those of you who didn't get to keep up with the Facebook page, we'll let you know now. You can scroll through there. You'll see a picture up there of a bunch of cardboard boxes with just a little bit of Princess Magpul peeking out over the top of it. That's because we finally got in the new roast that we've been telling y'all about. Now, you're going to have to finish what we have first before we start cracking all them open, but based on how y'all are consuming the Sulawesi, we'll be getting into the Bali here shortly. We've got that one on deck. We got the 2 Costa Rican origins on deck. We got another sack of Guatemalan, because who doesn't want more Guatemalan coffee? And then the Ugandan. So all of those, very exciting. On top of that, though, y'all may have seen these hanging around. And you've seen them hanging around the shop if you've been up here. We had someone actually order one of them while we were down on Saturday. I know you're wondering what it is because there's no label on it. And that's because this is a new premium roast. So we haven't done a premium line in a while. We've had a sack of beans from Rwanda sitting here for a good amount of time that we've been just waiting for a good moment to unveil. We thought that this weekend would be the great time to try it. For those of you who have tried it, it's just a little bit higher grade of coffee. You pay a little bit extra, you get a lot more flavor than you even thought you could. We've had a lot of people who yeah, they're even with our coffee, they just like their cream and sugar. They'll like to add just a little bit. This one, they're all drinking black. So it's been pretty cool. Well, I guess with the exception of one person, but it's been pretty cool. Just seeing that response, because that's been the thing I remember explaining early on, even to us Misfits, that when you have that higher cupping score, as we call it in the coffee industry, in the whole coffee world of beans, that higher cupping score does translate into a better cup. So if y'all are looking to try that new Rwandan roast, we haven't even labeled it yet. We haven't done anything. We wanted y'all to get a sneak peek preview, there we go, of it out for you before we go ahead and officially let it hit the shelves. Now, these are going to be predominantly riding in cartridges rather than going to beans and bags and all. Why? Because we want to let there be the most chance for everybody to try it possible. You don't get nearly as many of these beans at a time, and we want to be able to spread it all around for you, the people. So we're going to be running a lot of them in cartridges. But come on by, we can brew you up a cup. We just went through the fresh descale on the Keurig, and man, it's one of my favorite things to get a cup fresh off of it, because years ago I never used to clean my Keurig. I was one of those gross statistics that, had a Keurig for how many years, and it's been that many years plus time in the factory since it's been cleaned. So that's not us anymore, and that's not been us since we started. And when I or one of the Misfits, one of us other Misfits, go ahead and descale, it's just two chef's kisses. So that's the roasts that we've got on deck and the ones that we have available for you. We've, again, Bicentennial went phenomenally. In terms of our Misfit businesses, so like I said earlier, I'll be making some trips out to talk with just a bunch of our other Misfit businesses tomorrow, making a bunch of deliveries. Among that will be Next Level Nutrition in Brownsville. So they will be getting their first shipment of their cartridges tomorrow. So if you're out there in Brownsville, if you've got to head out to Brownsville for any reason, go ahead and stop by. We've got Next Level Nutrition out there, and we have West Tennessee Vapors Brownsville out there. So 2 Misfit businesses you can visit out there. If you're looking to buy any of the retail products, definitely hit up West Tennessee Vapors out there. If you're looking to have a cup brewed for you, or just see what kind of stuff that Larry out there at Next Level is doing with the espresso shots and the regular cartridges that he's purchased, go ahead and give it a shot. Just head on out there. Like I said, I've tried his stuff. He makes some real good shakes. And he's even gone down to wanting to know every flavor note profile for each origin he's buying to make sure that he's going to be able to mix it well. I really have no doubt that he's going to do a fantastic job with that. So definitely make your way over there if you're in Brownsville or even in the area. It's worth the swing over, I promise you. He's got all the protein drinks, he's got the fruit smoothies, he's got the loaded teas, and now he's got arguably the best coffee in West Tennessee from what people tell us. So that's for our Misfit businesses. I'm going to get myself a sip of coffee here. And then before we jump in with everything, I do just want to give another shout out to Planetary Design and all of the Airscape products, all of the Ethos products, all of the BrewTrek products that they supply us with. It's been wonderful having a partnership with them for the time we've had it. It was humbling that first time they reached out and said, hey, y'all want to work with us? We want to work with you. You want to do something? And next thing you know, here we are. I don't want to drink out of anything that's not theirs. Bicentennial mug and other business mugs is an exception, but I really do prefer my Planetary Design products. We'll be even showing you something as simple as the wonderful coffee scoop they made. I'll be using here in our discussion today, just because I want you all to see just how much of a joy that it is. It's your 2 tablespoon, 30 milliliter scoop, and if you come in and talk with us, we'll set you up to understand how many scoops it would take to fill your pot. So with that being said, now we're going to go ahead and jump into today's discussion, which we really want to talk to y'all today about espresso. Now, you probably saw that in the preview about why we're just ecstatic for y'all to try our espresso cartridges. We've had a lot of people try them down at the farmer's market, and they've loved the taste. Tasting it straight up black, different 4-ounce, 6-ounce brewing sizes, adding cream and flavor to it, whatever you do, however you want it. everybody has noticed the difference. And we really want to let y'all understand where that started for us, and then see what Mad Chazzler's vision was in pushing us to even get this far. Because if you remember from previous lives, or just from discussions in general, I've told you how much I used to despise Keurigs. How they were not my preferred method of brewing. I really didn't want to use them at all unless I really had no other choice, just because of the quality. He was adamant about us figuring it out, and now here we are with Keurigs abounding, and that's how we brew y'all coffee, and you notice that the quality is just as good as what we brew you out of a drip pot. He pushed to get it into espresso, and us Misfits sat around and taste tested, and were wired and bouncing off the walls, but we figured it out. But when we started with espresso, you see this nice big machine, not big at all. This nice little machine sitting next to me right here. This has been our DeLonghi little just simple espresso maker. Everything's manual. It's really got no bells and whistles. It's got a frother. And it just does single or double shots. That's it. Now, why do I have this thing out? Because this is where we started. When we first got asked way back when, hey, can you brew espresso? I looked him in the face and I was like, yes, we sure can. Big smile on my face, and we're ready to go. We're going to supply him with espresso. And I remember getting back to the car, sighing and thinking, man, I got to make sure I can roast espresso now. And brew espresso. I'd never done it before. I'd messed around with a mocha pot, which we'll discuss at some point what all those different espresso methods are. Or just come see us in the shop and we'll talk about it. But to use a legitimate espresso machine that you have to hand pack and everything, never done it before. And that was going to be key to being able to figure out what our espresso was tasting like, on top of having to sit right here. It was 8 hours in a day, I think, and maybe 2 hours outside of that day, just testing grind size, amount of grinds, everything, just to be able to pull a good shot out of here. So I want to go ahead and show y'all what that looks like, because people seem to have been enjoying the fact that we have demonstrations on here, letting y'all see us brew with different methods, because you only ever really get to see us brew with the Keurig. And even when we bring stuff for a drip pot, you don't get to see it too much because we're busy and running around. So I've got my handy dandy planetary design scoop here, which I know pictures don't do justice, but this thing is hefty. You could, my favorite way to rate something for quality, you could bludgeon something with this. We don't recommend that. Don't try that anywhere. It's just to show you the heft of it. It's not like a plastic spoon. It's a true, it's an 18.8 metal, 18.8 stainless steel, which is crazy to me to be putting into a scoop, but it looks real nice. So, when we're talking about brewing espresso out of a maker, you've got all these components. So you've got the portion where the puck sits in, then you've got the portion where the espresso will be pouring out of. Now, I'm a stickler for weights. It's the engineering background. I can't help it. So the way this works, the espresso goes in your top here. I believe they call it a portafilter. If I'm wrong about that, let me know, and then I'll get fired and hopefully rehired. It's a wonderful joke we have here in Misfit HQ. I get fired at least twice a week. Why? Just because. So I, again, after testing a bunch of different, grind sizes, amounts of espresso to put in for a shot, we finally did come up with an amount. Now, I'll let y'all know because I'll tell you if you ask anyway. I like to sit at about, for a single shot, I like about 7 grams. That's just my preference. It's just based on the way that I tamp my pucks. It's the one that makes it so that I get the right amount but not too little. Now, I gotta stand up for this part because the hard part with tamping it properly is that you have to be able to evenly apply pressure to the puck to be able to get it to form. Now, a lot of your espresso makers, when they're manual like that, will have this kind of tamping stand, or people will have like a hand, pestle mortar, whichever one that would be. And I'm just kind of used to, from my days in a metallurgical lab, trying to apply even pressure to polish samples, that has translated here to helping me to be able to push a puck evenly. Now, again, it's still, I'm not going to claim to be perfect at this, It's something I enjoy doing, but by no stretch am I perfect at it. So if you're looking at this saying, oh, look, he's messing this up, that's okay. I know. Alright, so we've got the puck nice and tamped. I'm not going to turn it upside down for you because I've had very bad experiences doing that. So with that, we love our little miniature beer steins for our espresso. Why? Because it's just classy. So let me clear off some of the espresso here. We're going to go ahead and get this thing set up. So I've had this preheated for about an hour now. I don't like pulling them even slightly warm. I want them burning hot, which, again, I know, shocker, but that's how I like to pull everything of mine. So if I pack this right, what you'll see is it'll come out flowing. It should be fairly evenly from each of the two spouts here. And again, so you saw all that work. Now, that's not terribly long for what I just did, but that's also after having worked with this thing for hours and hours and hours and hours on end. So we're going to go ahead and flick it on and start brewing. And if you take a look, and it's going to be a little hard to see the layering. I am only one camera guy, so I can't do the whole fancy zoom in for you. But what we'll do is that's pulling now. Now I'll tell you it's pulling a little fast and a little uneven for my liking. But when you pull a good shot, you're able to see that crema layer form up on top, and then you'll see the change in gradient and colors going throughout. A shot's only good for about 30 seconds, so you don't just want to let it sit out. And for those of you who don't know, which would be everyone because I haven't said it yet, that's Peruvian espresso. And when we figured it out, again, getting to this portion right here where you see this wonderful crema layer, that took forever. I never thought I'd get it. I read thing after thing. That's pulling a shot, all the work that goes into it. Not counting all the work that it took to learn to roast it. Like most great things, we figured out that roasting espresso was actually an accident. When I was trying to learn how to figure it out, we went back and analyzed the previous roasts that we'd had and saw, hey, these ones that we're tasting ran a certain way and they taste good as an espresso and they taste better than the stuff we're used to seeing as espresso. So we went ahead and ran with this, and now here we are, we've got multiple lines of espresso. So why do I do this whole song and dance of setting up this rig and showing y'all everything? Because what I want you to understand is that now I've also got to clean that up. So there's all the weighing everything out on a scale. So if you come in and say, Big Bad Jon, or Princess Magpul, Mad Chancellor, I'd like y'all to make me an espresso shot. At the point that we figured out espresso, we have to get this thing out, have it preheating for at least an hour to make sure that the machine's hot enough and ready to go. We'd have to make sure that we pack that puck perfectly. If we didn't pack it right, the flavor would be off, which I can tell you I did taste a slight difference in how I pulled that just because I didn't quite get a good pack on it. Having to lean over a table and all. It had to be packed right, weighed out perfectly. You'd have to stop it. You got to stop your brewing process just on time, not too early, not too late, to get that perfect, that sweet espresso shot, which you can go online and read form after form about all the nuances of roasting espresso. So that's what we would have to do in the past to be able to get you a shot of espresso. Now, this is it. If you want espresso, you're just going to pop it in here and you're done. And that's it. There's no extra work, no crazy bells and whistles. You take this cartridge, you slap it in your Keurig, and you let it brew 4 ounces or 6 ounces. Every box that we have, you'll see on the back. I did not prep properly and did not set myself a box in front of me. But come on in and see it. We've got 4 different origins right now, and this was really, that was Josh's vision behind it. That was Mad Chancellor's whole thing, was the people should be able to have espresso without having to go buy a fancy machine, without having to learn how to pack it themselves. If they don't want to pack it themselves, they shouldn't have to spend more money on an even fancier machine that will pack for you. They should be able to just pop a cartridge in a Keurig, hit a button, and get espresso. Now, you notice that we've told you, whereas it's anywhere from 8 to 12 ounces for our regular cartridges for coffee. Long Island accent there, sorry. You brew our espresso cartridges, and it's 4 to 6 ounces. So why is it less? I mean, it should make sense. We have the same thing with an espresso maker. You put all that work in, it's like the beverage form of crawfish. You get next to nothing for all the work you put into it. However, with our cartridges, you get a double shot every time you brew at 4 ounces. So you're getting the same espresso taste, but you're getting double with next to no work. If you want to have a little bit more, but you still want the bold taste, you brew it at 6 ounces and you're set to go. And so this was Mad Chowser's vision right here. This is where it all started with our Tanzanian espresso. Now we've moved out to the other 4 origins. We have our Ethiopian for our 22. We have our 357 as our Tanzanian, 357 as our Honduran. We have our 44 mag as our Peruvian, which is what I just drank. And then we've got a lot of others that are going to be coming. And I think I had mentioned to y'all that really our selection process for espresso is if we notice that the bean works for espresso and we think it tastes good as espresso, it's going. We're going to divert some to espresso, which, you know, with certain origins, we don't always get that opportunity. But now that we're pushing this so hard and heavy, y'all are going to be seeing more of these. And you're going to have the ability to get your espresso for as little as $55. Because again, you can go buy a Keurig online anywhere. A simple one for $55. That's what we started brewing these with, and it's worked phenomenally since. So you don't have to go spending hundreds of dollars. That's even cheaper than this machine was. And this is all manual, and it's got a small reservoir and, you know, non-optimal settings. You can spend less than that and just buy our espresso cartridges and go ahead and brew yourself up one. And just in case y'all aren't sure, let's show you just how easy it is. Ready? Here's the hard work. Gotta get a mug under there. See if you can line it up with the spout. Drop your lid. If you need water, you spin around. You add water from your handy dandy water filter. You spin back around. Drop your reservoir on there. You hit 4 ounces. That's it. So it's just so nice and simple, and I will fully admit this is why we leave the innovations out of my hands, because I did not ever think that we would have something so good coming out of a Keurig for coffee, let alone espresso. Now we've got both, and it blew my mind completely when Mad Chowser came up to us with, I think it was a row of 5 or 6 cartridges, and he said, "Hey, here's all the cartridges we got. We're gonna try one by one. We're gonna figure out which one works." I figured, okay. And the first one I sipped, about what I expected. Second one I sipped, about what I expected. Third or fourth one, I believe it was the 4th one that I tried, I kind of just stopped because it tasted just like the best shots I've pulled. Now, understand, I'm an amateur at pulling shots. Fine, that's great. I'm sure that a lot of other people can find nuances with their perfect espresso machines and all of that. But I and we will stand firm on the fact that when you get our espresso cartridges, you're getting espresso. That's a lot better than any espresso you're getting elsewhere. It matches the high quality that we keep promising y'all that we will put out, and it makes it affordable and easy in the way that we keep promising. Wonderful. So that's our espresso. So no more need to go out and buy one of these. We really want to encourage y'all to come in and try it. Y'all come in, and we're extending the exact same benefit for, if you come in and buy a bag, you buy a box of cartridges normally, we have no problem giving a free cup with that. We'll be doing the same with the espresso cartridges, and if you'll come in and buy a 4-pack or a 12-pack, we'll give you another of another origin. We may even give you 2, just if it's your first time, just to let you try, because we really do believe in it that much. We want you, the people, to be able to have good espresso without having to put all the work, all the money, all the prep time into it. Why shouldn't you be able to have espresso in the morning? Why shouldn't you be able to, half awake, groggily, just slap something down, hit a button, and rub your eyes, and now you got a shot of espresso? So that was the vision. the man Chasler had. That's the vision we all ran after and ran with. And now here we are with a wonderful espresso shot that you can, a double shot at that you can bring home with you, bring home to your families, bring to work, and be able to enjoy regardless of, you know, whether or not you can afford a crazy espresso maker like this. I'll tell you, it's been a lot of fun for all three of us to just try them with different combinations of other coffees. If you know what a red eye is, you got your coffee, a shot of espresso, this makes it so easy. We keep joking around. I say joking lightly because it's not a full joke that we're going to at some point make a way to brew them both at the same time. I wouldn't be surprised if we have that out at some point, in which case you'll see it appearing here on a live at one of these days. But for now, we've just got the espresso cartridges, which if you haven't had it yet, I'm telling you, you will be incredibly impressed with just how bold and smooth and how exact the espresso taste is to match what I would pull you out of an espresso maker as an actual shot. And you get more of it, which having 4 ounces of high octane juice is a lot better than having a little shot glass of high octane juice, especially on a Monday when it's cold and you're tired and you just need something to get up and go. Here's your get up and go juice. So that's our talk on espresso. Again, come on in, let us know that you watched the live, and come get yourself some espresso. Go to Next Level Nutrition and try the espresso. You've seen some of our espressos pop up in the West Tennessee Vapors locations. Go in and ask, and if y'all are looking for it, more of it will appear. Remember, this is all based on you, the people. So if you want it, you ask for it, and it'll be there. So, with that being said, that wraps up the espresso discussion. If y'all have any other questions about espresso, about how, maybe you got a question about pulling an actual shot, because we do sell whole bean espresso. We have a lot of people who do come for a whole bean espresso. If you got any questions about how to brew it, how to properly tamp a puck, what things to look for in terms of how much you should be brewing, what kind of flavor notes you're looking for, any inconsistencies in your brewers, any of that, you come on by and ask us. If you think that there may be something off with the taste you're getting, I believe we mentioned this last time, but we're also starting to offer Keurig servicing. If you need it descaled, if you need something looked at, come find us for that too. We want to make sure that no matter what's going on, you can affordably get your highest quality cup of coffee, highest quality shot of espresso, right from the comfort of your own home, or stopping by and getting it from us here, or stopping by one of our Misfit businesses and getting it there. So that wraps up the espresso discussion. Again, thank y'all for coming out and seeing us for the bicentennial. Massive thank you for all y'all who have followed us inside and outside with the coffee cart. That's the last note we'll touch on. I'll tell you, as the weather gets colder, you will be seeing more mornings where we're set up here in Misfit HQ. And that's just so everybody can be warm while they've got their coffee, and then when you go back out into the cold, you got something to continue to keep you warm. But we will be out front. We're still looking into setting up at a couple other businesses potentially around here in Dyersburg, and the cart will still be out front on days. You'll just be able to smell more wonderful smells when you come back here and see us when we've been roasting in the morning. So, again, thank y'all for the support there, and for the support you showed on Saturday, and just for the support y'all have been showing us in general. This has been, the lives have been an extra bit of fun. We've really enjoyed being able to bring y'all just such a vast variety of coffees, and now espressos as well. And if you haven't grabbed any Planetary Design products when you've been in here, please come on and get some. They are wonderful. We are almost out of our custom engraved 8-ounce cups, these little camp cups. We will be getting some of the 12-ounce cups in soon, and we typically have canisters on hand, and we will be getting more in as well. All right, with that, I think that wraps up our Misfit Monday debrief. So thank y'all for stopping in. Thank y'all for tuning in live here from Misfit HQ. I'm Big Bad Jon, and looking forward to seeing y'all next Monday for another debrief, and seeing y'all this week to be able to have things to debrief on. So with that, stay safe, stay caffeinated, stay safe, stay free, and stay caffeinated. Misfits.